You are in for a real treat. This episode was originally recorded for my other podcast, but for you, it's been upgraded and transformed, and now you have the Ask the Pro show. So everything mentioned in this episode will now be found on chrisdufay.com, plus so much more, as I've designed the Ask the Pro podcast and chrisdufay.com to give you exactly what you need to grow your business success and for you to have the money, the freedom, and the happiness you want, making a bigger and better impact to the world unselfishly. So now it's time to delve straight into this episode, and I want you to lap up and enjoy every single second of it. Buenos dias, muchacho, and welcome to the Turning Pro Academy. I'm your host and your coach, Chris Dufay, and I'm very thankful for you being here, and I'm amped to get into this with you. This is an episode I am very damn happy to bring you, as this has been something so many coaches and trainers and fitness bunnies are asking for, aspiring for, and confused about. How the supplement game can be done successfully, how you build great profit, but do it ethically, the right way, not being a douchebag and standing out from the skepticism that surrounds it. That's why I'm bringing you today Buck Rizvi, which I've had the pleasure of meeting and chatting to a few months ago, and knew I had to bring him on board for you. And Buck is crushing it with it, building a supplement company that is leading the way and that is earning 8 figures a year. So do the math. He's bringing in over $10 million a year. So he's in the position to give the advice. So get ready to soak it up, as we're going to delve into topics such as how he's built an 8-figure supplement business in 18 months, the core principles he believes in has made this happen, the advice on how you can get started, along with the 3 main mistakes he's seen people make when starting a supplement or even an online health business, the 4 major steps for you to take right now, plus so much more. This is a ball terror of an episode. What you take away from today's episode, I know will make you more confident, in charge, and taking the right action. So strap yourself in, because this is chock full. And as a thanks for plugging me in between your ears and for you joining the Turning Pro Academy team, I want you to pay the love forward. Introduce one person into getting subscribed and tuning into this podcast. Share the love. Here is a 5-star review that I'm very happy to say that is from Law Is 2, and she says, Thank you for the opportunity to grow my PT business. I'm looking forward to learn ways to save time and money, to work smarter, not harder. And that is the truth. Thank you so much for leading that. I really appreciate that. And it's just good to hear that this information is going towards the right people. That's what puts a smile on my dial. You know what else puts a smile on my dial? And I'm going to throw you a virtual high five and even shout you out to the hundreds of thousands, as I would love an iTunes review from you. If you have not left an iTunes review for the Turning Pro Academy, that is a problem, and we need to fix that. So right now, on your phone, if you're doing some cardio, if you're cooking, you're shopping, if you're driving, pull on over, because leaving an iTunes review is going to help me get this out into the ears of the people that need this. So share the love. If you're loving it, a 5-star review is what I want, but I want to eat up your honest feedback. And also, if you're wanting to burn fat, build and transform your body, then you are going to need to head on over to the exclusive, the wonderful Fit Body Pro podcast over at fitbodypro.com. This is my other podcast. I've gotten gluttonous. I've got 2, and that's where I'm giving you the insights, the advanced, proven strategies, the plans, the advice to shaping the body you want and putting your health in track the right way as well. So don't miss out on that. And if you're really serious about building up your success, your business, everything that surrounds that, I want you to head to turningproacademy.com so you can get the show notes and links from this episode and every other episode. And as a special thank you for you being you, the free online workshops that I'm giving away at the moment that are coming out of from what I'm doing with my 6-figure PT program, you can use yourself. Use it, abuse it, see the results for yourself. I want you to get on and take advantage of while I've got it up there for you. It's all about how you can double your income, double your clients, and the free online workshops to how to build an online business or a specific consultation, how to step outside that real problem that I know all too well that I had to get myself out of. And that was really out of the time for money trap. So if you want to get involved with that, absolutely head on over to turningproacademy.com. I am buzzed about this interview, and Buck really unleashes. He knows his stuff, so get ready. The marvelous and wonderful Buck Rizvi, I am absolutely pumped to have you here. I've woken up super early and I've just been buzzing the whole time. I want to say a really big thank you for taking the time for myself and the listener to come on here, mate. It's really spectacular because I know the insights that you're going to be giving away are going to be mind-blowing. So I suggest that the listener, along with what I'm doing, is pick up a cup because we definitely want to take a sip from the fountain of wisdom that you are, Buck.
Well, thanks, Chris. It's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me on your show.
Awesome. Okay, so I think before we kind of delve down into this route, I had the pleasure of meeting you, Buck. It was a few months ago down in Sydney, and we got a couple of quick conversations in, and I just knew from the start, I was like, I've got to talk to this guy. Like this, oh my God, like I'm having a bit of a bromance situation with you, Buck. I hope that's all right. But I think what you're doing is phenomenal. And I also really respect the character that you have. And I think that's a big part of business success as well. And I think that ties so well into you actually launching the Ethical Health Marketer, because I think that surrounds your character. Because I think so many times, especially in the online space, ethical and marketer can be a bit of an oxymoron, and I really hope you break that down and disravel that as well. But I'd love for you to tell the listener, Buck, who you are and why you're so phenomenal.
Yeah, well, thanks, Chris. Well, my first passion really is helping people through my ethical health businesses. And, my current vehicle, one of the big vehicles I have for that is, I'm co-founder of Real Dose Nutrition, which is a direct-to-consumer online dietary supplement company that I run with two other business partners. And in the course of putting that business together over the last few years and the focus that we've had on developing high-quality products that are backed by human clinical studies and that we're making proper claims about those products and bringing in hundreds of thousands of customers, really changing a lot of people's lives, I've come to realize that, there's something bigger that we're doing here than just making, the almighty dollar. And as part of that process, a lot of people have approached me asking for advice, saying, how did you guys go about doing this? Can we get some access to some of your suppliers and your know-how, et cetera? Can you be a consultant for us? Things like that. And I kind of had this eureka moment that, and there are other companies that have done this, by the way, of sort of opening the kimono and sharing what they're doing in a way that potentially help the entire industry. Because one of the things that's happening, has been happening for years is there are a lot of bad actors out there in the online health space, and specifically in the online dietary supplement space. And that's been one of my frustrations. So, another thing that I do is, I coach and provide education on the subject of building an ethical online health business, and I do that under the umbrella. As you mentioned, under the umbrella Ethical Health Marketer. But I also have a program called Health Profits Academy that I use to do that.
All right, fantastic. Now this is great because firstly, you have the chops for being able to educate, show, guide, advise everybody that's coming to you about that. And I think that's so important that you've walked the walk yourself. So I'd love to kind of go down and highlight some of the key components of what you're doing with Real Dose Nutrition. How's the company set up? How are you guys delivering the results to your clients? How have you gone about building this empire of Real Dose Nutrition? And what are the key takeaways that you're finding with it?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So what's amazing about this is that we were able to build this company and effectively do it completely virtually. So we have a virtual company, formulate and distribute very high quality products. As I mentioned, to thousands of customers. We have I think it's getting close to 400,000 customers now.
Wow.
So that part of it has been, it sort of proves the point that you can operate completely virtual and have a very successful, very ethical business that also has world-class customer support. And, that's also a testimony to the ecosystem in the space.
Now, I obviously have a bit of an idea of the, let's call it success, but also I think a lot of people, especially when dealing with the supplement market, and it's really people are being so close with it, is what can you open up and tell the listener about the financial success of what the business is doing at the moment?
Yeah, well, I've been pretty open about that aspect of it. We were able to go from scratch, where we, like I said, bootstrapped the company, to an 8-figure business in under 18 months.
That's phenomenal.
So 8 figures means in excess of $10 million a year. And so that, we're really proud about that. We've been able to sustain that, which is excellent, and do it, not just profitably, but do it ethically, as I mentioned. And by ethical, I mean that we are not making over the top claims, health claims about our products. We're not utilizing improper business practices that make it hard for people to, if they don't like the product, get their money back.
Mm-hmm.
As a result, we have an amazing reputation in the online. So if you check us out, whether you're checking us out in the social sphere, whether you're checking us out on things like in the U.S., we have the thing called the Better Business Bureau, you'll notice, or just look for reviews on our product, you'll find very good feedback about Real Dose Nutrition.
Okay, beautiful. I think a big part of it as well is because you've tackled it in such an ethical way and you've gone about it, and especially when I heard you speak, so much of it was about the customer delivering such quality and such, like TLC, some tender loving care for the customer the whole time. And this kind of leads beautifully into the next question that I really wanted to nail for you, was looking back for the such massive growth that you've been able to achieve with this, what have been the key takeaways that you would love to be able to give the listener if they're thinking about going down this path?
Well, I think it's okay to look at this as a great opportunity to provide for your family and provide a legacy for yourself. That's okay, right? I mean, everyone has a dream to have some freedom and do those kinds of things, and I did too. Certainly, when I first got into the online dietary supplement space 10 years ago, I was already passionate about dietary supplements. I was a believer, and I had done some education on the types of products that I was interested in and that I was already taking at the time from a supplement standpoint. And so I picked a dietary supplement company as my vehicle for success, for breaking out of the rat race and leaving my day job and all those kinds of things, which is fine. But I think there has to be, in order to really sustain, there has to be something more, a desire to make a difference, to leave it, as Steve Jobs was quoted as saying, leave your dent in the universe. And have a true legacy, something that you're really proud of. And that speaks to, not just being really slick when it comes to having a great sales funnel and a great video sales letter and copy and all the tricks and things you hear about online. It really means being authentic and having, as we talked about, having a focus on a product that actually may cost more to manufacture because it has ingredients that are backed by randomized controlled trials, human clinical studies. It's proven to work. You've put not only the right ingredients in there, but the right amount of those ingredients.
Yeah.
You've had it manufactured by a quality manufacturer. I mean, look, I'm sure you take some supplements maybe as part of your regimen. You probably care very deeply about the quality of what you're putting into your body. If your body is your temple.
Yeah.
Right. And so, when people, and customers are very skeptical. So they're already skeptical online, let alone about something they would, ingest. So I would tell folks, focus on, the quality and efficacy of what you're doing, the ability for it to work. Okay. Yes, you can apply things like persuasion and sales funnel architectures and things like that to the process, but there's a way to do that in an ethical manner that helps someone, make a decision, get to a decision, helps them in their journey. And that's what we do at Real Dose. We assist a customer through an arc of a journey to discover who we are as a brand, educate themselves about what it is that's in our products and why they do what we say they do, and then hopefully make the purchasing process simple, right? Easy.
I think that's so brilliant. And the first thing when you kind of came to mind when you started saying that thing, especially with the quality, and people kind of want to they might try and dodge the qualities to try and increase their profit margins. And I remember there's 3 things you don't want to go cheap on: tattoos, education, and your supplements, because it's always going to backfire.
That's the first time I've heard someone say something about tattoos. That's interesting. Don't do your own tattoos unless you're in a prison.
It always pisses me when someone says they're trying to like do a cheaper option for a tattoo, and I'm like, really? Do you really want to think about that again? That could be a better choice. But anyway, okay, that's another podcast for us there. But now,
that's funny.
I think so many people get caught up with the tips and tactics for the sales process, how to get someone on board. And I think it's so brilliant what you said, because I was talking with a business coaching client yesterday, and this was going over like the consultation process of being able to bring somebody on board as a client, and obviously how to replicate that into a system so it's nice and easy, it's automated. And I think this is the exact same process on what's going about. Firstly, you have to disqualify or qualify that person. Is that person an actual good fit for your specific product and item? Like, is that what they actually need? And therefore, if it is, how can you lead them on to be able to get them to the point of that? It's a binary decision. It's a yes fit or a no fit. And that's exactly the process of what you're putting them through. And I think why, Real Dose Nutrition has become so successful so quickly.
Yeah, I would say so. I think people can very quickly separate the wheat from the chaff. They know that they know that we're speaking from the heart, and we deliver the goods, right? We're not telling them to accept what we're saying on faith. We actually provide the proof, and that's very important. So we definitely take, and I recommend this for anyone getting into the online health space, is that your backplane is science, right? You are able to prove through things such as randomized controlled trials and that are published in peer-reviewed journals and are not based on either anecdotal evidence, which means that somebody had experience maybe in a doctor's office, or an individual had a good outcome. That's not true science. But so we focus on clinical studies, and then we include that in our marketing. We still incorporate persuasive elements. We still incorporate a sales funnel because there is a process you can take somebody through to help them make an educated purchasing decision. And there's nothing wrong with that. What is wrong with it is that if you, as you said, poor quality product, a health claim that's not backed by backed by science or a scientific study, for example. Maybe it's backed by an animal study, which, unfortunately you do see some marketers looking at some promising animal studies. Well, you can't make that leap from a rat to a human.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we focus on human studies. And then, the third mistake that you see very often being made is, making it difficult, I see this happen time and time again, people in the supplement space putting people onto forced continuity, another free with ship type of offer. And then it's very difficult for them to cancel the subscription. They wind up getting rebilled these egregiously high rates, for a product that doesn't work.
Do you think that really came from when Proactive did it?
I don't know about Proactive, but there are plenty of supplement companies that have done it. And, unfortunately in the weight loss market, which is one of the markets that we focus on.
Yep.
And so imagine us stepping in, 4 years ago into this place where people were getting burned all the time. And, so I think we were a bit of a breath of fresh air, that we were coming in with a high quality, a differentiated formula. And that's one of our secrets, by the way, is that we if you're familiar with, weight loss ingredients like Garcinia cambogia or, raspberry ketones or whatever the Dr. Oz ingredient of the week is for weight loss, you see a lot of people running out and producing these single ingredient formulas. And because they're trying to take advantage of this trend because some famous doc talked about it on TV. So that's exactly the opposite of what we do at Real Dose Nutrition. I focus my students on creating formulas that work and true formulas, differentiated combination ingredient formulas that are difficult to price shop because it's not Garcinia, it's not raspberry ketones, it's not whatever the ingredient of du jour is. It's something that's going to sustain. So our first product, which was called Real Dose Weight Loss Formula number 1, is still a bestseller for us many years after we formulated it because we weren't doing that Dr. Oz ambulance chasing, for example.
Okay, now I think this is a really important point that kind of popped into my head just then. Is obviously you said before in the social sphere how important it is and how Real Dose Nutrition is doing so well in that, obviously because the results are speaking for themselves. How do you think other people can help really showcase the results that they're getting, especially in the supplement side?
How can they showcase their customer successes?
Yes.
So I think that that's another way, another thing that we teach in the Health Profits Academy program is there is a responsible way to leverage customer case studies. Okay. An improper way would be, for example, to imply that your weight loss product is that the typical person's going to lose 100 pounds in 30 days. Okay. Like you and I both know that's just physically impossible, without surgery. So, but you see companies doing this all the time, with these amazing before and afters and implications that, people are going to have these fantastic results. And that seems to be typical. So, we focus on if you have a legitimate testimonial that, you're not going to make these radical pounds lost in Y time kind of claims.
Yes.
Okay. And the same thing is true for other types of supplements. Whether it's a joint supplement or a cognitive supplement or something like that, you want to make sure that you're avoiding anything that might be construed as a drug claim. That's another big no-no in the dietary supplement space, especially in the U.S. So unfortunately, I see a lot of folks on Amazon, for example, trying to leverage these Amazon reviews. And they're not realizing that these reviews they're actually responsible for whatever their customers say about their product. Just because they went and posted it on Amazon doesn't mean that they're not responsible for that review. So a review, you're not allowed to publish a review that makes health claims, that makes improper, unsubstantiated health claims, drug claims, things like that. And so that's another way we keep folks, inside the line and out of trouble from a regulatory standpoint. And you know what? People will be more likely to believe the review if it's not over the top.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in a split with so much more for you. Now, I know you're listening and tuning in because you know how important your health is and how this can also catapult your business. This is why I'm very happy to say that this podcast is sponsored by My Body Blends and my favorite, the Superfood Elixir, the powerful greens drink. Now, this is designed specially to boost energy, aids detoxification, enhances the ability to burn fat, supports healthy carbohydrate metabolism, and best of all, is voted best tasting greens drink. Now, myself and the My Body Blends team are looking for ambassadors to join. So you and your clients get the health benefits plus adding in a strong income stream for you and your business. The ambassador program, which is by application only, means you get exclusive access to sell My Body Blends products like Superfood Elixir to your clients, plus giving you the special ambassador pricing and bonuses. So once you become an ambassador, you can join other top health and fitness players that are adding thousands to their week's income. Now, there is only a limited number of ambassadors we are taking on board, as this is a tribe leading the way together. So to apply and to join, go to mybodyblend.com/ambassador or add the checkout code that is Turning Pro, all one word, when you're going to get your own Superfood Elixir to order. Plus, you're going to get free shipping and a bonus to save yourself over $250 instantly. So just use that coupon code Turning Pro in the checkout and you can save over $250 right now, all on mybodyblend.com.
I think that's a really good point, because I think a big part of, especially when you're dealing with one of the most skeptical areas that is weight loss dietary supplements. And I think how you've been able to clear yourself away from the competitors and be that choice that is clear to them, because it really takes care of the skepticism that leads up into it. I think you've just shown that brilliantly. And it's such a great point, as in, like, if someone actually does put an Amazon review, say, for one of your products, but you can't actually accept that and publish that if it's not abiding by certain guidelines.
Yeah. I mean, it's very tempting to, though, right?
Absolutely. Okay. This is
one.
Yeah. Sorry, keep going, Buck.
Yeah. I was just going to say it's one example of, where you have to toe that line and say, okay, yeah, maybe it's true. I didn't pay that reviewer to put that up there, but I might have to edit it. I might have to ask them to change it to remove this particular reference, which is fine. There are a lot of claims that you can make. I'll leave, the listeners with a couple of suggestions here.
Yeah.
It's okay to make general wellness claims like I feel great. I have more energy. I can spend time with my grandkids. I have more mobility. I can go, for long walks on the beach now. I wasn't able to do that. That kind of stuff. All that's fine, right? From a claim standpoint. It's just, making things like I said, I've lost X amount of weight in Y amount of time, and that Y amount of time is very short. Or if I'm making a claim like, this cured my diabetes, that would be a problem.
Okay. What about, this is interesting because you brought it up. What about claims for a cognitive supplement?
Well, I think things, and again, that kind of gets to the general wellness. Like, hey, I feel sharper.
Right.
I feel more focused. I'm able to, names come back to me very quickly. No issues. That kind of stuff would be under the category of general wellness, and it would be fine.
Okay.
So
beautiful.
people are making those kind of reviews. It's absolutely fine.
How would you prove a cognitive supplement's its results and its effect?
We haven't done a cognitive yet. I mean,
sorry, it just popped in my head and I was like, this would be really interesting because it's not weight loss.
I could riff with you a little bit on that because we've done protein powders and omega-3s, which is kind of related. Taking EPA, DHA does help with cognitive. So you could do a memory test, obviously. You could do a type of focus. There are types of tests that could be, before and after. And it could be based on time frame and things like that. I know the folks over at Onnit, you may be familiar with them, have their Alpha Brain product, and I believe that they published a study. So that's an example of a type of study. I don't know if their study has been peer reviewed yet and what the status of it is yet, but those are examples of, that's certainly heading in the right direction of being able to make a claim based on actual evidence.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think for them, I think it's a great move because I think a lot of people go, oh, okay, you've funded the study, therefore it's flawed. It's like, no, come on. Like, it's not always like that. And I think it's great because I see the situation that they're in being able to be like, we have to prove through the right means, are these nutrients in this combination, in this formula doing the right job?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're actually chemical drug companies have to get their products tested and studied as well, right? And if they're so it's okay to invest in a clinical study. What's more important is that it's run by those are contract research organizations that will know how to operate a study, make sure it's properly designed, and that it is, that double-blind, gold standard, double-blind, placebo-controlled, randomized type of study, and that there are enough people participating and those kinds of things. And that if it is properly constructed, then you could, they would identify journals to publish this in. It would be subject to the peer review process, and that really elevates the legitimacy of it. No matter who paid for the study.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, awesome. Now, I've got one more question before we kind of head down the ethical health marketer space and just still concentrating on, say, real dose nutrition. What are the avenues in which you're going about in selling and showcasing the actual products? As in, I find a lot of people have come to ask me about, well, where do I sell them? Where do I go? Do I concentrate on Amazon? Do I concentrate on my own storefront? How do I start driving traffic to myself? Like, where have you found, just for yourself, obviously it's a very individual with your market and what you guys have been doing, but what have you found works so far?
My druthers are to be captain of my own ship, master of my domain. Beautiful. And by that, I mean actually having my own store, my own storefront, my own third-party fulfillment, or sometimes they refer to as third-party logistics or 3PL capability, and buy media to my funnel, taking the customer through that customer decision process, facilitating the sale, fulfilling it from my fulfillment center. And by doing that, I'm going to increase awareness, word of mouth, obviously, when customers are having a good outcome, and potentially people looking for my brand in other contexts. And at that point, maybe putting my product on Amazon, putting my product on eBay, because now people are searching for my brand instead of Garcinia. I
hope, sorry to butt in there, Buck, but I just hope so much the listener just took in how simple and how well you answered that question. It just shows that you know your stuff back to front. And like, that was just absolutely divine. And I take a lot from that. So thank you. Sorry, keep going, mate.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah. So, I found that there is the siren song of getting onto Amazon and the Amazon riches. The reality is Amazon is a fantastic place to sell products that people already know they want, and they're looking for, maybe in a sense a commodity, or they already know the brand that they want and they're there to get the best deal on it and the best, shipping opportunity for that convenience of getting it because they already have their payment on file, that sort of thing. So great platform for doing. I'm looking for another hose for my garden or a kitchen spatula, or, maybe I already know that there's like Onnit, for example. If I'm looking for Alpha Brain and I want to grab their cognitive, and I'm thinking I might get a little slightly better deal on Amazon, I'll go look for Onnit on Amazon.
Yeah.
But if I want to establish my brand, then I'm going to start to, develop a great formula, put a great marketing system around it, support that with a fantastic customer support capability, and then start buying media so I can bring the right audience to my story, have them interested in it. And then, as I mentioned, it may not happen on the first touch. It may happen a few touches later as they start to get more information about me and feel more comfortable, like dating. At some point, they may choose to go look for me on Amazon or eBay. Both of those, I think it makes a lot of sense to have your own store there and control your brand. But I think starting there in the dietary supplement space, especially if you're, developing a differentiated formula, which is what we do, okay, is a tough place to go. I mean, if you want to come out with a new vitamin D or a melatonin or a omega-3 or yet another Garcinia, let's call that a YAG, yet another Garcinia product. Then you could try that, but I tell you, it's dog eat dog, right? Yeah. To make that happen. So, that's why I focused on being captain of my own domain, is buying media, being able to optimize my own offer, my own funnels. Sometimes it may be okay I know some people that do direct traffic back to Amazon because people are we actually support Amazon payments, pay with Amazon. Right. On our website.
Yes, it's still your domain.
Which is very different because it's on our site. We maintain control. We own the customer record. And so one of the big problems about being on somebody else's, let's call it, what was it? Am I using the right term? Like a feudal lord? Well, you think about in the old days when the Lord would allow people to have their own little plots on his land.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's a little bit like what Amazon is, right? Where Jeff Bezos is the Lord.
Yeah.
And you can go there and set up your little shop, but guess who owns the customer? It's Jeff if you buy off of Amazon.com.
Yes.
So that's
would you say as well that customer record and being able to have that customer in your system is actually really important?
It's paramount.
It's paramount. Beautiful. Because I was going to say, like, obviously, say somebody comes, they get the product from you for the first time. That's fantastic. But I'm going to make an ass of you and me and assume here, Buck, that you also know a good average lifetime customer value with what you've got. So therefore, you know how much marketing you can spend to be able to acquire a front-end customer because they are going to be with you for X amount of time and purchasing X amount.
Yeah, it really lifetime value and the extension of the relationship to other family that you have result that good job did that and helping them lose a lot of that. It's the word of mouth and other things that happen, no matter where they buy. But, by you being able to then reach out, do refill reminders, maybe offer a very ethical subscription later after they've tried the product and had a good outcome, and then maybe recommend third-party products. That's the other thing, that you can do some of that on the Amazon platform. There's a lot of restrictions about promoting other things out. You certainly can't promote anything outside of Amazon. So anyway, I didn't want to turn this into an Amazon bash in any way.
I think it's great because I understand where you're coming from. It's kind of like building a house on sand, and if the Lord of Jeff comes along and wants to strike your head off, do you know what I mean? I think he can very well do that, and I think people have found that along with other social media sites, as in say their accounts have just been closed and all these other things. And I think that's the importance of driving people back to your home platform.
Yep. Absolutely. So we're having fun with this. This is, having that level of control means that you have an asset, which is your list, your database and now we are approaching 400,000 paying customers. Our lead database is much, much larger than that, in excess of 1 million. So that means that we can go, hey, if we want to launch a new product, boom.
Yeah.
Easy. right?
Exactly. I think that's where the power of being able to do what you set up so great. Okay, this is awesome. I'm buzzing right now. Okay. Now, I kind of want to transition over, and really, I guess the first question is, why have you started the Ethical Health Marketer?
Yeah, well, I think that this is I think they're like yourself. There are a lot of people that are either in the online health space or looking to get into online health, whether it's information products or dietary supplements, fitness programs, things like that. And, they're looking for a voice, looking for somebody that can be that curator and bring the best of the best in terms of techniques, talent, tools, processes that they could use to promote their products and know that it's being done under that ethical health brand, that umbrella, which means that I know that it's compliant, it's regulatory compliant. I know that it's customer friendly, right? And I know that it's proven. So if I can, I bring those kinds of things to bear, that and the flip side of that is it's going to help me too, because it's going to attract people that are utilizing ethical standards to promote their products. It's going to attract them to my universe, and I'm going to be able to learn more about how to do it right and share that with the community.
What a brilliant way for you to actually turn a massive benefit of what you're going to be able to get out of it. I think so many people just completely miss the boat with that. Phenomenal. Okay. What do you think the major learnings are that you're providing with the Ethical Health Marketer? And even, as you mentioned before, I've forgotten that, Healthy Profits Academy.
Yeah, Health Profits Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of big takeaways that have occurred. One is, I'm just flabbergasted at the number of people that have amazing products, that are entering the community, and the quality, the focus. I have a student that's in Australia that's coming up for I have a live event coming up in September 25th, 26th, 27th, which is the Health Profits Summit here in Boulder. And, he sold a yoga studio. He has a product that is in the greens market, and he's coming up to showcase and talk about his business while he's here. So, that part is very, very, it warms my heart, right? To know that these folks that are already having success are attracted and being a part of this. It creates a lighthouse for people that are in various stages of just getting started, because they can look at these people that are already underway and say, okay, great. I know I can do this. I can, I have the right mentors. I have the right colleagues that are in this game with me. Okay. Mm-hmm. And, unfortunately, I think that some people that make the wrong decisions, whether it's product quality, whether it's a sales technique that is not customer friendly, in some cases, I don't think they do it, consciously. Yeah. I think maybe they're learning that from somewhere, in a different context that shouldn't be applied to health.
Okay, that was absolutely perfect. So what do you find, because obviously you've got people coming to you with the Ethical Health Marketer and coming into Health Profits Academy from different stages and levels. Let's start with someone thinking about this. They're listening to our conversation right now, Buck, and they're like, this is something that I want to do. I find that there's a gap, there's a need, there's a niche, I can do something. What's your advice for them? Because I'm sure that they're looking at a massive mountain to climb. How can you help them get up to the top?
Well, I think that it does start with, as you said, making sure you're picking the right market with, I call it a house on fire problem. Okay. House on fire problem is not, somebody looking for a plain old omega-3 or take a multivitamin or something like that. There's a specific condition they're trying to address, a health condition they're trying to address. Yeah. They want to improve, and it's causing them pain right now. So that could be, in our example, we went after the weight loss market. There are other great markets that, I would put into the house on fire category. We mentioned cognitive. I know that that's doing well. Anything sort of that would be in the anti-aging umbrella. So, cognitive fits, joint health. So joint pain, would be an example. Digestive health, probiotics is another great example. So making sure you're picking the right place. And I do recommend, if it's possible, that it's a place that resonates with you personally. I take my own products, right? I consume my own omega-3s every single day. I consume my own protein powder. So I like getting into markets that it's something that I have intellectual interest in and that I would use the products myself. And I think it's critically important to make sure that you're selling to a market that's got the money to spend on your product, because you're going to have a high quality product, and is a pretty sizable market. So one of the markets I love to sell to is the female baby boomer market. So anyone born between the years 1945 and 1964 would fall in that boomer category, but specifically boomer women seem to make a lot of purchasing decisions, and they're not as price sensitive as other markets, say millennials. I don't know, you might be a millennial, Chris, so I might be picking on you. But if you're 38, I think 30, is it 36? Somewhere in that range, or under in your 20s, then you would be a millennial. Yeah. So, that they have a different area of focus than, say, boomers that are more focused on maybe anti-aging, so being pain-free, mobile, feeling younger, more active, those kinds of things.
Beautiful. And I think this kind of just directly relates onto the answer was so beautifully pieced together that you just said there. And I think what people might miss is obviously you've done the research. Where should people start when they start to think about, right, these people might have this house on fire issue? How can I delve deeper in about that?
Well, the next level that I would go is I actually attend certain trade shows that awesome. Help me, because I'm sure you attend a number of trade shows in the, whether it's for personal trainers or, fitness or what have you. I go to industry trade shows around the dietary supplement space. So, one example is Supply Side is a tremendous show, Supply Side West, that's coming up in October here in the US in Las Vegas, is like the industry mega show.
Right.
It's like the Comic-Con if you were into that genre. So you're going to find folks with interesting labs with ingredients that have clinical studies. You're going to find contract manufacturers. You're going to find science advisors, people in the regulatory space, as well as folks in government, the U.S. federal government that are looking to help you export products, because they're all about wanting to increase our GDP here in the U.S. So a lot of interesting support infrastructure. Some of that is there to assist you and guide you into what markets are really taking off right now, because there are a lot of education tracks offered at trade shows like this.
All right, brilliant. You have absolutely knocked this out of the park. And there's two super quick questions I want to fire your way, Buck, and I'd just love for you to have the answers just roll off your tongue. Firstly, what is your definition of happiness?
So my definition of happiness is, and I'm not great at doing this all the time, and I need to get better at it, but it's being grateful for the things that I have, what I've accomplished, and the fact that I have a platform through which, with Real Dose Nutrition, Ethical Health Marketer, and Health Profits Academy, to help and impact the lives of tens of thousands through Real Dose, hundreds of thousands of people.
Brilliant. And I think that's so brilliant, because the next question I want to ask you is, what are you grateful for today?
Oh, wow. I am super grateful for my health and my family. And I feel very blessed that I have my parents are still alive. All of my siblings are alive and well. So, and my wife's parents, as well. So those kinds of things, I kind of have to pinch myself and say, gee, I hope a rock doesn't fall from the sky and change that situation tomorrow. But, I look at that and I say health, because we are in the health space, but I just reflexively say that having your health, man, holy smoke, it just enables you to do so many things. So by taking care of your house, right? Your castle. Yeah. That's a big, big deal. So I salute the people that are listening to this call that have a keen interest in health. Potentially they see an online health business or even an online dietary supplement company being the vehicle for doing that. And there are ways some people may be skeptical about even considering that kind of business for all the reasons we've talked about, because of the bad actors and, people doing it the wrong way. But if it's something that's even in the back of your mind, I salute you. And there is a path to do it correctly.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay. So I know 100%, Buck, that the listener is just frothing at the mouth to learn more about you and everything that you're doing. So where can we send them to learn more about Ethical Health Marketer and everything else that you're doing with yourself, Buck?
Yep. So we're, as you and I discussed, they can go to ethicalhealthmarketer.com, and that will be the place where I'm going to have consistent, articles and podcasts and communication about, because I'm going to offer free training for folks that are interested in this. An option is to look into the Health Profits Academy. Some people may not be ready for that. That's fine. But I think the place to start is ethicalhealthmarketer.com. Sign up there, subscribe to my podcast, sign up for the blog to get notifications, and I think you'll really enjoy it. And I try to keep it light, airy, fun, educational, and very engaging.
Excellent. But I want to say an absolutely massive thank you from myself and from the listener. I really appreciate it. We did go overboard on the time, but there was no way in hell I was going to hit stop on that with the brilliance that was coming out. But mate, massive virtual high five and a big thank you.
Thanks, Chris. I really appreciate it.
So now it's time for you to click on over to chrisdufay.com. That's chrisdufey.com to get all the guides and show notes. And if you are wanting the workshops where I walk you through how to build your online business, click on over to chrisdufay.com/start here. This is where I can give you the exact training guides and the workshops for exactly where you're at and the answers that you need. Now, every Friday I'm coming back to you with a new episode. So be sure to subscribe, and if you haven't already, you're going to be getting the world's best insights, the advice and the answers to give you the business, the money, the freedom and the success and happiness that you want. And I want to give you a huge muchas gracias for being here with me, and as always, get in touch with me via the site or via social, as Ask the Pro is about me giving you the answers that you need. So ask away.